In today's video, I will be going over 5 tips for beginner barbers. For one, I want to start off with timing. You are definitely going to want to get your timing down right, especially nowadays how pretty much everything is by appointment only. How do you know how to set up your appointments if you don't know how long it's going to take you? So you're going to want to start timing yourself to see how long a haircut takes, how long a beard takes. So the better you get with your timing, then you won't be running late all the time. So I would definitely recommend getting a little timer or just keep a watch on your wrist all the time to constantly be checking at it and try to get your time down. And then also you want to give yourself a little window just in case if they come in 5 minutes late, it doesn't mess your whole day up. And they show up and you're like, hey, I'm running late. And that becomes a pattern. They're not gonna like that. And well, some people might stick around depending, the connection they have with you. But a lot of people, they're not gonna like that over and over. They'll take it for a little bit, but after a while, they're gonna find someone else that is better with their timing and their appointments. So the importance of getting good with your timing is because there's a lot of clients they're willing to pay a premium for that. They'll pay you more, especially you'll be able to charge more because they know that when they come into you, you're gonna be ready for them and you're gonna get them in at the time that you said and they have their appointment, and that you're gonna be able to get them out in the time that you told them. So some people are busy, they got businesses or jobs to go, they might be on their lunch break, and they wanna know that when they come in, you're gonna get them in and out. So that's gonna help you in the long run, get those clients that are on a schedule, and also they're gonna appreciate your time and they're not just gonna be showing up late all the time because they know you're on time. So if you're on time, you can also enforce them being on time. But if they start coming in 10 minutes late, 15 minutes late, since you're always on time, you could also start telling them, hey, you're not gonna be able to do that anymore. But if you're late, how are you gonna tell them they can't be late? So think about that in the future too, to start being punctual yourself, and then you can also tell them to be punctual. So it's like a give and take. Number 2 is setup and reset. So when I say setup and reset, I mean setting up your station, and then the reset part is like when you reset for your next client. So you want to have everything set up to where everything is flowing smoothly. The chair is in the right spot, the foot pump is on the right spot, your blow dryer is on the side that you want it, your lighting, you have everything set up to be running smoothly. All your clippers, everything is laid out. And then the reset is when you're done with that client. If you weren't putting all the things back already where they're supposed to go, and you have a big mess, then you have to reset everything, spray everything down, clean it up, and then you're ready for your next client. So you don't want to take a client if you have a messy station, and then it's going to be difficult finding everything, and on top of that is not sanitary to take the next client. The third one is connecting. You're going to want to connect with the client, especially if you've never met them before. If they're your cousin, your brother, your neighbor, your friend, you already have a connection with them. So this is more for new clients. So if you've never met them before, they're walk-ins, whatever, or someone you meet out on the street and you give them your card, they're new clients, you're going to want to connect with them. So you're going to want to ask them some questions, share a little bit about yourself when they come in, get to know each other, ask them for their name, obviously, when they come in, and make them feel comfortable. So let's say you've established some kind of connection with them. Then at the end, you don't want to forget to exchange information. That's a very important part. Think about like you go on a date, everything goes well, you met someone out, everything's well, and at the end of the night, you don't exchange numbers and both of you go your separate ways. It's the same thing with the client. Everything goes well. At the end, you want to exchange information, whether it's social media, phone number. And if you ever decide to leave to another shop, you have their information and you can take all your clients with you. So that's a plus. Number 4 is going to be, you're going to want to ask questions, a lot of questions. I've had it where when I was a newer barber, I would ask them, or they'd show me a photo. They say, this is what I want. I didn't ask that many questions. And then at the end of the haircut, when I'm done, then they would start telling me everything they didn't like. So to save you time and save you a headache, you're going to want to ask a lot of questions at the beginning and also during the haircut, especially if you're a newer barber or they're a new client that you've never cut before, you're gonna want to continuously ask them questions. For example, if they say, give me a fade, before starting the fade or when you start the fade, you can ask them, how high do you want the fade? Okay. And then you could show them the back. How low do you want the back? Or do you want it going all the way across? And then the next thing would be, while you're cutting the top of the hair, you can comb the hair, pull the hair up and say this much, or go lower. Or so you're always going to be wanting to ask questions, because the worst thing is to get to the end of the haircut and then say, take a little more off the top. Oh, actually raise the fade up. So next thing you know, you did 2-3 haircuts on one client, and you're wasting time. It's going to be frustrating for you, and it's going to be a bad experience for the client, when it all could have been avoided by just asking them more questions. Number 5 is going to be keeping a backup. And by that, I mean keeping backup of the tools that you use. So whether it's a pair of clippers, shears, blow dryer, you want to keep backups. For me, when I was beginning, I would drop a lot of stuff. I was very careful, but when you're in a busy shop and things are moving around, you tend to drop stuff. A tooth comes out of your trimmer or something. So you're going to want to have backup, because you might not be able to change it at that moment because you're busy. So you're going to just want to be able to quickly pull out a trimmer and continue. So find a trimmer and a clipper that's good all around. If you want that trimmer to be able to do everything, balding, you want it to be able to line up everything. So find a good overall trimmer and buy 2 of those and just use those 2. And then you're going to want to find a clipper that you really like and have a backup. And make sure that that clipper is good for getting out the skin line, fading, bulk, a good overall trimmer. And then you're going to want to buy 2 of those. So then you're not messing around with trying to figure out all these clippers of like, all right, I need this one for the balder, I need this one for bulking. It's going to be a lot easier if you just learn with one good overall trimmer and one good overall shaver, one good overall clipper, and then just have backups to those. And trust me when I say this, you don't need 3, 4, 5 different pairs of clippers when you're starting off, and 3, 4, 5 different kinds of trimmers and shavers. You don't need all that when you're starting off. Okay, just get yourself one good pair. You don't get yourself a cheap one, but get one good one, clipper, shaver, and your trimmer. And also get yourself some good pairs of shears. And maybe the shears you can have a cheap backup. And thinning shears, you can have a cheap backup. And maybe even a cheap backup blow dryer. But when it comes to your clippers, your trimmers, something that you're using every day, all day, they're gonna get hot as well, so you can be exchanging back and forth. But if you have all different kinds of clippers and trimmers, it's gonna be a mess. So stick with just one good clipper, one good overall trimmer, and one good shaver. It's gonna save you a lot of time.